Oftentimes people say to me, Sister Linda, mashallah, you're a Muslim and you're an activist. And they make those things two separate things. Muslim, activist. Sisters and brothers, there is no two separate things here. If you are a true Muslim, if you believe that Islam is a religion of not just peace, which it is, but also a deen of social justice, then all of you have to be activists. My role model, my activist, one that is actually not spoken of in this way. And I've been to Islamic schools on the weekends. My parents sent me. They taught me the seerah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. And in fact, when I grew up, I observed that I actually got cheated a little bit of my Islamic education. Nobody ever told me that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was an activist. I learned that as an adult. Our Prophet was a human rights activist. He was a social justice activist. He was someone who wanted to serve the poor. He, in fact, always chose to be amongst the poor. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was an environmental justice activist. He believed that the trees, the earth, the water, that Allah gave us those things as blessings, that we have to take care of the earth that is around us. So when you hear people say, oh, we're environmental justice activists, and you think that's something that is foreign to Islam, it is not foreign. We are responsible for the earth that Allah put us on. I believe that our beloved Prophet, in his encouragement of women, whether it be the women of his time or the teachings that we know now around centering women and girls and the emphasis on the education of women, he was a feminist in his own right. I don't care what the Islamophobes have to say about our beloved Prophet. I don't take my definitions or labels of our Prophet from Islamophobes. I know who my Prophet was. He was a man who was brought to this earth to be mercy for the people. He was a kind and compassionate man. I remember one time when there was a Jewish cemetery in the United States of America that was desecrated. Some people went to the cemetery and they crushed all the stones in the cemetery. And you know, I saw a news article and it moved me. It made me so emotional. I said, what kind of people would go to a cemetery where people are resting in peace and desecrate a cemetery? So me and my friend Tariq al-Masidi from Celebrate Mercy, we started a fundraiser as a gesture of solidarity with the Jewish community. And we wanted to raise $20,000, sisters and brothers, just $20,000, just as a token. Our community, mashallah, raised in almost 1.5 days, $160,000. And somebody asked me, they said, why would you as Muslims raise money for the Jewish cemetery? And I said, because I know that is what my beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, would do. You know, there was a story when our beloved Prophet Muhammad was sitting and there was a funeral procession that was passing by our beloved Prophet Muhammad. And it was a funeral of Jewish people, and the person who had passed was a Jewish person. And the man and a companion asked our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. He said, why did you stand? That's not a Muslim. It's a Jewish man. He said, you know what our beloved Prophet Muhammad said? He said, isn't he a human? This is our Prophet. This is the kind of kindness and compassion. That is why, sisters and brothers, I will say, I will stand, I will be any day to defend my beloved Prophet Muhammad, because I know his character. And in fact, if all Muslims around the world had the character of our beloved Prophet, we would not see half the problems that we have in the Muslim world and in the Muslim communities that we are a part of. So for me, I'm not ashamed to say as a woman that while we have many women revered role models in our deen, both historically from the times of our beloved Prophet, from his wives and others, to modern times, I'm not ashamed to say that my role model too is our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. It doesn't make me less of a woman to say that there was a man who I tried to emulate his character by being kind to people, kind to children, kind to elders, kind to people who are not of my faith. Because even our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, knew that whether they were Muslim or not, they were still creations of the Almighty God.